Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. It's me. It's me, and will you be my Valentine? That was dumb. What's not dumb is what we're doing tonight, and that's talking about children who helped solve crimes. Kids don't get enough credit. They don't. And what's all this noise you're talking about? It's just when you buy merch, seriously, we're going to keep going until this is all gone. This is the OG, A Gentleman's Closure. There's not many of these left. This was in Starbucks Worldwide, the song Closure, and then we've remastered it, and it's in vinyl format on the store. But anything that you buy in the store, hoodies, holy shirts, and hoodies, I'm going to be personally sending out orders throughout this live and, of course, until supplies last or don't last. Anyway. While supplies last. There we go. Artistic witnesses. We're talking about kids who help solve crimes. Kids that don't get enough credit, especially like middle school, high school kids. They're considered, well, they're not considered dumb, but sometimes they're called lazy and dumb, but they're not. In Germany, two young boys used their drill rings to help police track down a hit-and-run driver, showcasing the potential of children's observations in solving crime. Ooh, orders. Thanks. I'm watching orders come in live. It looks like I have a belly, but it's just my shirt. It's just my shirt, guys. I've stayed the same size because my dad gave me that complex forever ago. Have you ever had someone hit and run your vehicle? Have you ever had your vehicle hit? Because you might have little German boys see that, or kids that are not Germans, but will turn you into the police if you're part of a hit and run. Well, if you're getting hit, you're not getting turned into the police because you didn't do anything wrong. You just got hit. By the way, this one is the original. This is the Say Something EP. No one has this. This is nowhere to be found. So anybody that purchases anything, this has songs on it like Ocean of Love, Hard Nights, Circles. These were songs that my friend's band, they were like their throwaway songs. Not because they were terrible, but because they just didn't fit on their record. And so I either co-wrote on them by adding things to or taking away from it. But they were already pretty much complete. But I used to be kind of embarrassed by that, but I think it was because I didn't know who I was. My sound wasn't established, and it's fine because Ed Sheeran's amazing with his openness about he wasn't always Ed Sheeran in the sense that we know him as far as what his sound is and his abilities. He played his first ever demo on, I think it was Jimmy Fallon. It doesn't matter because it was terrible, and he admitted it. And he was like, "This is me." And they're like, "What?" It wasn't Jimmy Fallon. It was the guy, the British guy. What? All that to say, I'm happy. I'm happy to share this. So you buy a hoodie, you buy a shirt off the new merch, then you're gonna get whatever. I'm gonna send these out. I've got a bunch of these already done because I was distracted. Okay, we're distracted again. We're talking about kids that helped solve crimes. Kids that helped solve crimes. Stick figure sketch leads to arrest. Stick figure sketch and it leads to arrest. I wonder if Old Spice, what's her name? Spice? Baby Spice, not Old Spice. Oh my gosh. I wonder if Baby Spice will put those in lyrics. An 11-year-old girl's simple stick figure sketch helped police in Connecticut solve a series of burglaries, highlighting the unexpected value of children's contribution of crime solving. 11-year-old kids, the ability that they have to retain information, to see things. Kids are very, very observant. They are watching their environment. And especially a lot of kids these days that are growing up with kids, single parents, they're exposed, children are, to being more hypersensitive to their surroundings. They have to be, because one of the parents might be working all the time, or maybe they're gone, or maybe some other circumstance that's unfortunate. And so the kid has now one parent, and they also have these hyper sensitivities to things that they didn't necessarily have to in generations of old, and also social media. Think about the things that they're exposed to now. So to say that a kid isn't aware or self-aware I would definitely push back on that. What do you think? Let me know in the chat. And I'm glad you're here tonight on this Valentine's Day. My friend's wife, it's her birthday, and they call it Birthentine's. So happy Birthentine's Day, Sarah. Tech savvy youth. We're talking about crimes that were solved by children. An 8-year-old used the Find My iPhone app, that's brilliant, to locate his stolen iPad. leading to the discovery of a theft ring and the recovery of numerous stolen items. 8-Year-Old with a Badge. Name that movie. Have you had to Find My iPhone? Have you had to use like the, what are they called? The iPhone, the thingies to find one of your devices? You can actually connect 6 devices to your one of your Apple Find My Finder thingies, whatever they're called. So keep that in mind. Ladies specifically, they have gotten really smart with where they hide those things when they want to track you. So make sure that you're watching your phone, because your phone should alert whenever a device that is not connected to you is around or near you. It'll say, hey, there's an unrecognized device. So keep your software updated. I'm over here having a public service announcement talking about your safety, but it is of importance to me. Have you ever had something stolen from you? I accidentally, when I was 7 years old, my mom went to the pantry. It's a gas station. There's grocery gas by the pool. And I get back to the house and I have some of those fruit stripe gum. You know, the zebra. It's so delicious. And my mom said, "Where did you get that?" I was like, "At the pantry." My mom didn't pay for it. So we drove all the way back to the pantry. Had to go and apologize. I didn't know I stole. I had no idea. My nose itches. But have you had something stolen from you? I remember I was in middle school and we're going down Thresher looking north. I'm walking right now. I don't know why we were walking. And these kids, I could see in the distance, they're walking across our vision on the other street. So toward where my house was. And then about 5 minutes later, I see three kids riding the bikes really fast, the opposite way from when they were walking. I'm like, that's weird. So as we went to our house, we noticed that the 3 bikes that were once in our front yard, they weren't in our front yard anymore, and our bicycles were stolen. They stole our bikes. Never got them back either, which is terrible. Every year, the city has an auction of all of the confiscated items, whether it be, you know, your vehicles or scooters that never get claimed, or old vehicles that are in their city fleet that they're auctioning off. You get some good stuff there. I wonder if my stolen bike was ever turned in. We never claimed it because we never registered my bike. Why would we have done that, Dad? They probably sold it and made money off of my unfortunate event. I have a fuzz in my nose. Children's quick thinking. This is part of the kids that help crimes get solved. During an Easter egg hunt in Surrey, UK, children formed a human arrow to point a police helicopter in the direction of a fleeing suspect. Not just one, but multiple suspects, resulting in their capture. Kids, kudos to you. You know what? Those Easter eggs, that hunt, that can wait. Now that guy and that one over there, why don't you just help them on out? That's amazing. That's really cool. It's kind of like, you know, you see all those shipwreck shows, not shipwreck, but people are stuck on an island and they're using their luggage to write something for possible planes or aircraft overhead. That's brilliant for the kids. I wonder if they saw one of those movies to get the idea, or if they're just really smart. They're probably both. Really smart and saw the idea. Kids are resilient. Like, you drop them on their head as babies, they're fine. Don't do that, though. Don't. But that good thinking, kids. Good thinking, children. Eyewitness testimony. This one, you tell me. Hold tight. A 7-year-old's account and no, not this one. Not this one. Sorry. It's the next one. But still, hold tight for this one. A 7-year-old's account and recognition of an assailant's eyes as resembling her father's led to the unraveling of a murder case in New York. Like, kids and their awareness and their ability to recall or recognize, because as you're a kid, you know, you're not necessarily able to articulate things, especially an infant and toddler. So you're able to really be mindful of what your parents look like, who those that are close to you look like, your grandparents, your siblings. And I think it's great that this 7-year-old is able to say, hey, that bad guy, their eyes kind of look like my dad's. Which is interesting, because if you think about it, was her dad's eyes? They were covered. If you're not following, come on, guys. Be a detective. All right, this is what I'm talking about. If you have thoughts on this, please share them in the comments, in the chat. that's it. Wrong one. See, I'm all messing up. Solving a cold case. A woman, she relied on her childhood memory to provide crucial testimony that helped solve a 55-year-old cold case, showcasing the lasting impact of childhood observations. I'll wait. It's kind of like the TSA. You go to the Louisville International Airport and you say, hey, I'm going through security. You take your shoes off, you take your belt off, you take your laptop out of your bag. Well, you get to LaGuardia, you don't have to take your laptop out of your bag, and you get yelled at for doing so. Make up your mind, people. My point is prosecutors and defense attorneys will say too much time has passed for them to recall and their memory not be skewed. And they use that as their prosecuting argument, and they use that as their defense argument. In this instance, you have a 55-year-old case and a woman's testimony of when she was a child. Because I'll tell you now, I've told stories or started to tell stories, and my mom's around. I'm like, yeah, I was this. She's like, you were not doing that. You were doing this. I'm like, oh. Or, oh, that was my thing. And they're like, no, that was John's. You get what I'm saying? Do you think that you can rely on a 55-year-old testimony? I'm not saying you can't. I just know that time tends to, I don't know. I think it could alter it. What are your thoughts? Let me know. I also think time is a beautiful thing, too. We're talking about crimes. We're talking about crimes. We won't get into all the mushy stuff yet. I'm sorry. My single is number 12 at radio. And I just had a interview earlier at 7:50, which is 6:50 Dothan, Alabama time. That's Central time. And Wolf FM. Thanks, Wolf FM. Thanks, Amy, over at Wolf FM. She's over in the afternoon show. That's really awesome to get the support. So many stations are playing last time. Spins are crazy. I'm just like a few spins away. It's nuts. It's streaming now. Thank you for streaming it. Junior detective work. A 12-year-old conducted her own investigation. This is also into her great-grandmother's ransacked home, demonstrating initiative in the application of learned skills from a junior district attorney camp. Did they solve it? I never saw that. I wrote this, and I think it's great that the 12-year-old's like, yeah, I'm going to take this initiative and do this myself. But I never found out if they actually solved it. Otherwise, we're just commending someone for, hey, good job. Here's a participation trophy. I'm sorry. You know what? Good job, kid. Yeah, take it upon yourself. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the chat. Are you one of those people that would be just like idly standing by? I don't ever want to be that person. I made that decision long ago to stand up and step up. If I see something, if I see wrong, or if I'm made aware of it, I'm gonna speak up. A community search effort. A group of children aged 10 and 11, they played a critical role in finding a missing 97-year-old woman with dementia, emphasizing the impact of community involvement in search efforts. I love this one. You see a lot of news stories where, especially local stories, where confused older people, elderly individuals will get out. They'll when the spring months come to us and summer months, they wander out. It's nice out and they get confused. Maybe it's because they do have dementia or Alzheimer's, or maybe they have a medical emergency. My brother's childhood friend, their dad was driving and had a medical episode, had the wherewithal, the mental fortitude to pull over and to call their kid and say, I don't know where I am. Because of the medical emergency, they could not even look around and describe their surroundings because they couldn't process that they were in a grocery store parking lot. Ultimately, they got to figure out where he was, which is great, but it's amazing that these 10 and 11-year-olds are able to rally together to see the importance and the seriousness around, oh, wow, this sweet little individual, 97-year-old, is lost. We can't find them. Let's figure this out. Let's get this taken care of so that she can be returned to her family and safe. That's awesome. I mean, that's really cool that kids, I think kids actually I don't know at what point. We all are built in a selfish way. We all have selfish tendencies to a degree. We have to. Because, this whole fight or flight, this whole survival, at one point, not sure when, the selfishness tends to increase. Maybe not even increase, but take hold more so. I don't know if I'm articulating that, but children are good. They just want love. They want some Ninja Turtle toys or whatever the hell they play with, but they want love. They want to express love. They want to have fun. They want to share. They want to share it. I want to know what that time is. Like, when does that get skewed? I don't know. Let me know in the chat, like, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid? And at the county, no, it would be the city bus. It would be the city bus, whatever it's called, like the bus depot where the school buses are. Not the depot. Yard, garage, go garage, The city bus garage, it has since expanded, but there used to be this huge pine tree that they had since cut down. We built a treehouse in there, and we loved it. And then Brandon Yeiser, I thought he was so cool. He was a few years older than me. His friend was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in grade school. And he came home one day, and his head was buzzed. And I asked him, why did you do that? And he said, I did that to show support for my friend who had lost his hair due to chemotherapy. I thought that was really cool. I mean, kids, he was a little kid. And my child mind and eyes saw something powerful about that then. And now as an adult, I'm like, man, that's amazing. It's not his parents didn't say, hey, Brandon, you should buzz your head. And I was saying what my favorite thing to do was, it kind of is a twofer, is we built this like tree house. It's just a bunch of 2x4s way up in this pine tree. Luckily, we're still alive, but we would climb that all the time. It was super fun. It was amazing. What's something that you love to do? Kids. Kids are great. Lego clues in a cold case. Crime solved by kids. Take your Legos. No joke. If you're a parent and you have boys specifically, maybe girls too, but I definitely know boys. I mean, you never, ever fail to miss one or two, and you rock your feet's world. It's not good. It's not. It really does hurt. And I'm not just saying that for a laugh. Yeah. Anyway. Lego pieces found at a murder scene became a key piece of evidence years later, linking a suspect to the crime scene through his son's fingerprints. Now, if you're from yesterday's live where I had the superheroes where they don't have the fingerprints, they could have, well, they're kids. The kids' fingerprints were on it. Didn't they say it was their entire family, though, that didn't have fingerprints? If that's the case, then they would have never found them because they didn't have them to go by. And now if they had the good old DNA, which also, by the way, you do know that whenever you do like 23andMe or any one of those genealogy things, you're saying, here you go, FBI, government, everybody, you could put my DNA in a database so you can't just don't commit a murder or a crime that involves DNA and you'll be fine, right? Just don't do it. Okay, now you know. I know that because I watch a lot of crime docs and listen to a lot of crime podcasts. Yes, I do. There's a podcast, not a podcast. There's a show called Bad Romance. And Bad Romance is on episode 4, which is airing tonight now on Hulu. Hang on a second. I keep getting... Wow. What's going on over on Instagram? I have 42,000 followers. That's up 9,000. Are you serious, Clark? Name that movie. Oh, Bad Romance. It's a good show. It's a lot of it has to do with, DNA and incredible investigative work, but it airs on ABC, but it also streams on Hulu, and I encourage you to check it out. Have you seen it? Let me know in the chat. And last but not least, youth hacker, not hiker, hacker fights crime. A teenager used his hacking skills to track and report online predators, proving that technological savvy can be a force for good in the hands of motivated youth. this is an incredible tool. It's amazing. Like, you can find all kinds of stuff, like my music. It streams wherever you stream your music. You can find my podcast, You'll Die Trying. You see what I'm doing there? You can buy my merch. I always will go out of my way to ask questions to people that I can easily find the answer here. But I ask the question because I want to have what's called a conversation and interaction. But these kids are using their hacking ability to hack predators. And by predators, I would assume people who are trying to harm, whether it be sexual abuse, physical abuse, or both, children, which, thank you to these children, teenagers, people who are fighting that war on predators. That's amazing. There is a movie that Jim Caviezel's in. It's something, Songs of Freedom, Sounds of Freedom, something like that. It's on Amazon Prime. I encourage you to watch it. True story based on, there are so many cases where children will go missing and they're put into these, essentially sex slavery. And there's a country that is putting into law, I don't know if it's already passed, if that's what the announcement was, or they're just saying, hey, we're going to put this to be voted on, which is essentially anyone who hurts a child through sexual abuse is chemically castrated. Let me know what your thoughts are in the chat on that, because I'll be the first to say, you hurt a kid, the most grand of punishments should be just showered down on you. That's my thoughts. But what do I know? Let me know in the chat. I am amazed at what's happening in my life, and I have become this huge believer in timing and continuing the process. I'm petrified, to be very honest with you, for my show. We're building the show. March is going to be rehearsing the show, and then in April we'll have the show in New York City. New York City! I'm nervous. I was listening to Smartless. I love that podcast. And they were talking about how, they do theaters. Sean does theater. He was in Will and Grace, and he was talking about being just so fearful. But on the other side of fear is confidence and achievement. And there's a healthy level of ego there, in the sense of, I could go into these shows and just have my chest puffed and have this like false thing, or I can admit the fact that I'm nervous as hell. There's something endearing about that, overcoming that nervousness. I think there's always the butterflies that'll happen, but my point is getting to the other side of that and getting a little better every time, every single time. And I'm excited about that, because that's authentic, that's real, and I'm glad I'm fearful, because that kind of like drives my desire to want to make it the best it can be, and practice. I don't know if that resonates, but that's something I'm really looking forward to, and it really is something I'm fearful, I'm scared, but it's a good scared. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, and this is what I've been wanting to do for so long. We're getting all the pieces into place, and all the great people that are a part of it, I'm grateful for, the team. And I'm grateful for you to be here. I'm grateful for you. Please let your stations know, radio, whether it's you hit them on Instagram or X or whatever. Play Last Night by Nathan Morris. Play Last Night by Nathan Morris. It's number 12 at radio. Still, it's like holding. Just sitting there, just all pretty. And let me know where you've heard it, and share the song on wherever you stream. And it's just this is a great thing in season. And I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful and appreciative. And to everybody that's buying merch, and I get to send these limited out, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to do this hands-on, because one day I would think that it's not going to be able to be that way. I mean, maybe I could sit and fulfill, limited orders. I don't know, but I'm enjoying this part of it. And I want to say thanks. I want to say thank you for being a part of it with me. Follow me on all the socials. Follow me wherever you follow and support, and I tip my hat to you. I'm going to end this a little early because it's Valentine's Day. I'm in this a little early because it's Valentine's Day, okay? Because I can. Because there's no rest for me, ever. It's time. Oh, no. I gotta go, guys. Gotta go.